Myanmar's ethnic groups have long suffered from military brutality. The junta gave them a common foe. This week, that brutality played out on the streets of Myanmar's biggest cities as the ruling junta launched a systematic and coordinated attack on unarmed peaceful demonstrators, calling for an end to the February 1st coup. Witnesses, footage and photographs showed police and the military shooting protesters, beating detainees, and reported extrajudicial killings. While images of crumpled bodies, laying in pools of their own blood, or being dragged through the streets, shocked the world. Determined to fight against those abuses and ensure that distinct voices and demands are heard, ethnic people have loudly joined the nationwide protests, uniting in solidarity against a common enemy. Though many fear further violence and intensified conflict from an unchecked military junta, operating with impunity and now firmly in control of the country. Protesters have called for the military to honor the results of the November 2020 election, which saw the National League for Democracy, led by civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi, win with a thumping majority. They are also demanding the release of Suu Kyi, ousted President Win Myint, and other government officials from detention. The ethnic people don't want dictatorship. They don't want to bring back military government to rule the country because the consequences of military rule in ethnic areas is brutal. For Xi, the country's most powerful leader since Mao Zedong, the day was a waypoint to a grand ambition, a force that would show China's greatness and power across the world's 7 oceans. In 2015, Xi undertook a sweeping project to turn the PLA into a world-class fighting force. He had ordered investments in shipyards and technology that continue at pace today. By at least one measurement, Xi's plan has worked. At some point between 2015 and today, China has assembled the world's largest naval force. And now, it's working to make it formidable, far from its shores. According to the U.S. Office of Naval Intelligence, in 2015, the People's Liberation Army Navy had 255 battle force ships in its fleet. As of the end of 2020, it had 360, over 60 more than the U.S. Navy. 4 years from now, the PLA Navy will have 400 battle force ships. China's Navy battle force has more than tripled in size in only 2 decades. Stated in a report by the leaders of the U.S. Navy, Marines and Coast Guard. Already commanding the world's largest naval force, the People's Republic of China is building modern surface combatants, submarines, aircraft carriers, fighter jets, ballistic nuclear missile submarines, large Coast Guard cutters, and polar icebreakers at alarming speed. While China is expected to field 400 ships by 2025, the goal of the current U.S. Navy shipbuilding plan, with no fixed data, is for a fleet of 355 ships, a substantial numerical disadvantage. When counting troops, the U.S. Navy is bigger, with more than 330,000 active duty personnel to China's 250,000. Meanwhile, the U.S. attack submarine fleet of 50 boats is entirely nuclear-powered, giving it significant range and endurance advantages over a Chinese fleet that has just 7 nuclear-powered submarines in its fleet of 62. The big advantage the Chinese Navy holds over the U.S. Navy is in patrol and coastal combatants, or corvettes and below. Those smaller ships are augmented by China's Coast Guard and maritime militia, with enough ships combined to almost double the PLA Navy's total strength. Those are troubling signs for Washington as it grapples with budget and pandemic problems that are much larger than China's. Analysts worry the trend lines, including China's announcement that it will increase its annual defense budget by 6.8%. Some Chinese military analysts suggest it is imperative for the PLA to safeguard China's overseas interests, and to be noted that sending out the PLA Navy is essential to establish China's image as a great power. Analyst says that nobody can match China's shipbuilding, not even US. You can't have the world's largest navy if you can't build a lot of ships. China gives itself that ability by being the world's largest commercial shipbuilder. Although the Chinese Navy would be a formidable opponent for any foe, its practical abilities don't yet match its aspirations. The PLA Navy's 2 active carriers are conventionally powered and based on old Soviet designs. That limits the range of the ships themselves, the range and number of aircraft they carry, and the payloads of munitions on those aircraft. In short, they are not even near peers to the US Navy's fleet of 11 aircraft carriers. And just one of those US carriers makes an intimidating statement while steaming off a foreign shore. A US Navy aircraft carrier, its air wing, is more powerful than most countries' entire air forces. The PLA Navy is not there yet. 55 Indians appointed to key positions in less than 50 days of Biden's presidency, ranging from his speechwriter to the NASA to almost every wing of the government. Biden thanked the Indian American for being incredible during a virtual interaction with scientists at NASA who were involved in the historic landing of Perseverance rover on Mars on February 18. Indian-American scientist Swati Mohan leads the guidance, navigation, and control operations of NASA's Mars 2020 mission. Nearly half of them are women and a sizable number of them are working in the White House. So far, the Obama-Biden administration in 2009 to 2017 has the distinction of appointing the largest number of Indian Americans in any administration. The previous Donald Trump administration was not lagging far behind, as it appointed the first ever Indian American with a cabinet rank and inside the National Security Council.
That's all for today. If you like this video, share the love and give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think.